Hello today. I hope everyone's having a really great day. Today I'm going to be talking about our staff notations and note names. They have names and they have letters, and recently they have been numbered differently from a previous numbering system from classical music to contemporary music. Classical music tended to give each letter note on the staff a number, but that didn't come until about the 19th century. That's just a real quick history. After that, we started seeing numbers that were related to tabs, and they are more consistent with what you will see in modern music today. I just want to bring this up real close so that you can take a peek at what we've got here on our Kalimba, which is a 20-time musica double layer. It's not the typical bilinear arrangement that you see on most Kalimbas. This linear pattern is quite different, and it's numbered differently and it's lettered differently. We're going to be sticking mostly with the letters, and I want you to refer to your staff notes when you come to this video, because it will help quite a bit. As I go through the actual lettering of this Kalimba, many of you who have already bought it will have this, and so feel free to go ahead and grab your Kalimba and follow along with me. The lettered numbers on this Kalimba are all the way down to G. And I'm going to go on the top layer because for me, it makes more sense learning in layers since that's the way this is laid out. B is the next one. D, F, A, C, E, G, B, D. I want you to notice that there's a repeat pattern. And that is the same with all Kalimbas and pianos. There are only a certain amount of letters that are used to identify each key. On the bottom here we have A, C, E, G, B, D, F, A, C, E. If you'll notice, there's a repeat again. That's because there are only so many letters, and I'll just refer to the diagram. How people have learned. And people are now looking at the staff itself, and they're saying, well, let's just take some landmarks. And this is and the landmark method is a really nice, quick way to come into music theory very quickly. And that is because there are certain notes that fall on certain lines, and they always have, and they always will. This particular symbol here is there for a reason. It used to float around centuries ago, but in the most recent decades, it's been stable. And if you'll notice, it has a curve. And that curve here forms a very elaborate G. And if you will note that there is a G that would fit inside this elaborate circle. So that's one landmark, G. That's a very good landmark. when you're reading your notes. Another good landmark for the G staff, in which it got its name, is that we will find there is another symbol on the staff itself that gives us a clue as to how we're going to read our notes. If you'll notice, the top of the curve on the staff falls in line with the B. That's another landmark. So we've got two landmarks here we can just put in our mind, which is G and B. All right? We can go even further and we can look at E. E falls on a space that correlates with the meeting of the staff symbol. So we've got a nice little curvature here, and there's a line that goes through there, and we will find that between this line that meets on the staff and the curve that begins on the G, we will always find E. I just wanted to mention that to you. There are little secrets on the F clef, but we won't go into that. Another name for this is treble clef. So if you want to jot these down, and remember that this is the treble clef, which are usually your higher notes, and we have a series of them, which include certain letters. You're going to see each letter as it progresses 1/2 space. This diagram on the bottom separates those that are on the line. And a little tip, rather than learning any type of rhymes, is that we can just go through it and simply say E, G, B, D, F. E, G, B, D, F. Those are the notes on the lines of a treble clef. F, A, C, E. You'll notice that some of them repeat. We do have an F that repeats. It's on a space. Then we have an F that repeats on a line. We'll go into that later. There's a reason for that. We have a kalimba that is 20 keys. And I wanted to show you a diagram of what those 20 keys look like on a piece of paper or sheet music. They will be running from G all the way to E. Those are our 20 notes that we have on our kalimba. Isn't that fantastic? That's 2 octaves and a half. That gives us a variety of pitches that can be played on a 20-key kalimba. It's very important to remember that when you're reading music, you want to become familiar just by sight at where that particular note is in relationship to the 5 lines and spaces of a staff. When I talk about a staff, I mean a treble clef. That's treble clef. This is what we call a sheet of music with ledger lines. Ledger lines are extra lines that were made by musicians when they just didn't have any more space to write a note. They would just simply make a short line that would represent the note that was being played. Traditionally, remember, pianos were 88 keys. And they have changed over the years. Now we've got our kalimba with only 20 keys, but we'd like to be able to recognize a note that's being played from piano sheet music, and we want to be able to know where that note is. These little dots here are only just little dots that explain where these keys are in relationship to a piano. So you can really disregard that unless you are really attempting to play piano. But for my purposes, and those of you I hope who are watching, we're just going to concentrate on the notes that lie on the ledger lines, such as E on the third ledger line, D on the second ledger line, C on the second ledger line, B on the above the first ledger line, and so forth and so on. So we're going to go back to our E, G, B, D, F, and we're going to look and see where is our middle C fall. Our middle C on our kalimba falls on a ledger line. Wow, that is really astonishing. It does not fall here. It is not the middle C that you would think as a middle C on the staff lines. It is a middle C that is below the staff lines and has the first ledger line. Okay, let's identify this, and I want you to study this, and I'm studying it myself. We're going to study where our notes are. Well, now we're going to go back over to look at our, I like to say, faces. We're going to look at our face. However, it is in a space. So you can remember F is in the space. Or face and space. But let's just call the letter as it is. It's an F. This is an A. This is a C. And this is an E. What will be helpful for you at home and me as well is to take this and study it. Give yourself a test. Come back, check it, go back, check it again.